Hey, here's the thing about Venom. Hey, so in the news recently, Venom has become a popular subject matter. Who is Venom, you might be asking? Well, this is a comic book blog, so you probably already know, but I'm going to explain this anyway. Venom is a character created back in the 1980s as an archenemy for Spider-Man, who can basically be described as his dark mirror. You know, like if you've been watching The Flash and been seeing the Reverse Flash stuff, that's basically Venom in a nutshell. There's a lot more to him as a character. The reason I'm talking about him is that apparently he's getting his own solo movie. So Venom. Venom is one of those interesting characters who I like a lot. Mostly because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero and I'm just obsessed with everything about him. But besides that, Spider-Man comics were one of my escapes as a kid, and Venom was also one of my favorite villains as a kid. When you have like a big, bulky, intimidating version of your favorite hero, you're just like, oh man, he's so cool. And there's a lot of surface elements to Venom that you kind of latch on to, and one of the reasons I think Sony wants to make a movie out of him. And he's had a lot of comics. Believe me, it's very hard to find a Venom series that's not just Lethal Protector or Funeral Pyre, or they have so many subtitles I can't even name them all in this one video. One day. But Venom is like I said, a really cool character to me. So why do people like Venom besides the obvious? Well, Venom has an interesting motivation for hating Spider-Man, and it really depends on the adaptation, but it goes mostly like this. He was a reporter who worked for the Daily Globe as Eddie Brock. And Spider-Man somehow messes up his life. Accidentally, well, usually Spider-Man's like trying to fight another crime, and Eddie messes up a story, so he gets fired for it, then he blames Spider-Man, and he's like, man, I want to kill myself right now, but I'm Catholic and can't kill myself. So I'll kill Spider-Man instead! Like, you know, as you do. So, at the time, Spider-Man had a black costume, where it was living. And this black costume was the symbiote, and it merged with Eddie Brock to become Venom. AKA Spider-Man's archenemy, or other archenemy if you don't count Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Electro, and so many other people. But that's what happened with Venom. That's him as a character. That's his origin story. And I'm really apprehensive about the Sony movie. Not just the obvious that they screwed up the Amazing Spider-Man reboot. Look, this is the movie studio that somehow screwed up James Bond. Like, let's start there. They screwed up James Bond for everybody. But Venom as a start of a cinematic universe does not make a lot of sense to me, because the factor of Venom, and in the comics he did grow beyond the whole hating Spider-Man bit into more his own character, but the movie, without Peter Parker, there's no reason I want to see Venom in a movie. The thing with supervillains that make them compelling is that they're challenges. Challenges are fascinating to me as a fiction concept, because how do you take him on? How does the hero take him on? And I like Venom because he can be a challenge to Spider-Man. You see, he has a couple things that make him strong against Spider-Man. One of his powers is that he actually has the ability to negate Spider-Man's spider sense. One of the most
broken powers within comics.
It's one of the most broken powers within comics, and it's really, really cool. Like, he can sense danger and just dodge out of the way all the time. And Venom can negate that. So Spider-Man not only has to think on his feet, but he also has to be more careful than he usually is. He has to, like, outthink Venom before Venom thinks, and it's so awesome that he has that in him as a concept. So Venom has a lot of cool things going for him, and without the Spider-Man stuff, I'm really not interested in seeing a Venom movie. Even if you got Tom Hardy to play him, which is solid casting. Though, admittedly, I kind of find it funny that the two comic characters Tom Hardy ended up playing both involve Venom in some way, shape, or form. But that's Venom. And the movie, I don't trust Sony with it at the moment. And the Amazing Spider-Man films from a couple years ago, I'm going to just discuss the villains in them for a second on how they made them. So, one big thing I have with Hollywood as a thing is that oftentimes they feel like they need to inject chosen one narratives into the narrative. And Spider-Man's never been a real chosen one narrative, discounting some J. Michael Straczynski stuff back in the day, but for the most part, Spider-Man's never been a chosen one narrative. He was a kid who was involved with an accident, who gets involved with other people's business. He's kind of random in that way, but that also lets make a good, compelling comic, is that Spider-Man gets into people's lives. He infects them, he infests them, he makes a web of them. But without Spider-Man helping Venom to start out, without that unique villain dynamic, I don't see how you can make a solo movie about him work. Because, well, where does he start one? He gets big black goo and he has powers vaguely similar to Spider-Man, and then just, starts killing people. I don't know. I really want to see how this adaptation takes it, but at the same time, I really don't trust Sony with this because they have a track record, and a huge track record, of just failing with trends. You can see it across their movies if you actually look at the James Bond franchises they release. And they always try and chase trends to be hip. So take James Bond Casino Royale, which was basically Batman Begins. Quantum of Solace was a Bourne movie. Skyfall was The Dark Knight. And Spectre, it's an MCU movie with James Bond. That's kind of the thing Sony does. They try and chase trends. The Emoji Movie, which recently was released, is pretty much the Lego Movie. It's a trend. And that's what they do. They try and sometimes elevate stuff. Ghostbusters was also another example of trying to be an MCU style thing. It was an MCU style thing, and, it didn't work. Because, for me, Sony has an idea of what they like to do. They have an idea of what they think will work. They have an idea of what they think will be popular. They changed Peter Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man into a more Edward Cullen type because they think that will be popular. They chase trends. And what this Venom movie will be, I don't know. Maybe it'll be like Venom styled after the Winter Soldier. Maybe it'll be Venom styled after whatever big movie that we don't know about yet. Maybe Venom will be based on Dark Knight Rises. I don't know. But they chase trends. And the fact is, I don't like that marketing in Sony. They do that all the damn time. And I feel like Venom's not the character to do that because he's a villain. He can be an anti-hero, but I like him better as a villain. He's more interesting that way, he's more compelling, and my god, we haven't had good supervillains in most movies in 4 goddamn ever. Fantastic Four still has Doctor Doom, and that's owned by Fox, and I want to see a goddamn good Doctor Doom. But I'm probably not going to get my good Venom movie either, with Spider-Man trying to struggle against this guy who he has to outwit, outthink, outweb everything about him. Because Venom is a cool character, and you could probably do a lot of things with him. But the reason I want to see Venom is not for Venom. I want to see him fight Spider-Man. Because you want to know what? He's a goddamn challenge.